in the world of Irish boxing, he's just an iconic name. He's not just an iconic name. He's a real boxing person. Doesn't matter where in the country it is or what's happening. He's been in and around boxing for so long, and I think that the name rings a bell for a lot of people. I think the first thing that comes to people's heads when they hear boxing in, you could say Galway, but definitely Monivea, is Gus Farrell.
So I started at 9. I'm at it since I'm 67 now in October, so I'm a few years in this game, and I love it. I mean, I've never looked back since I came in the door in St. Pat's in Enniscorthy. I trained in St. Pat's in Bohermore my final years that I boxed when I was 25, 26, and we looked for somewhere to live. And here in Monivea, 18 miles from Galway city, we ended up out here in the country. And then I went to the local priest to look for somewhere to keep fit and do a bit of training, because I was married with 2 kids at that time. And he announced it at Mass the following Sunday. He says, there's a boxing club starting next week in the old hall. And I went, I said to him, what's he talking about? I just wanted somewhere to keep fit. And then, lo and behold, we went home, and next Thursday night we came up, and there's about 60 kids and about 20 parents. And it just blossomed from there. And we've been very lucky. Very lucky with the community and very lucky with the people that get involved.
I did not ever see myself as being secretary of a boxing club or being anything like that. I thought he'd do it for a couple of years and, you know, give up, but he went on to coaching and all the other things and tutoring. So it's probably been good for us. It's been good for our 5 children in lots of ways, and they all help out in different ways in the club. They haven't all boxed or anything, but we have one daughter who's a coach now and a ballet teacher at the same time. So a good mix of things, and it's been good for that. He sort of pulls you out of your space and you have to engage, and then you find it's probably a good thing.
He's just somebody who eats, sleeps, boxing, and no matter what you do, boxing comes into it. Just an out-and-out gentleman. He sets standards, you know, that he wants the boxers to achieve, and you know, to fulfil their full potential. But not alone that, he's like a father figure to a lot of them as well.
Gus has really had a massive impact on where I am today, and geez, without Gus, definitely I definitely wouldn't have achieved what I've achieved to date. And like he's a role model, you know, so he's definitely been a role model for me, inside and outside the ring.
He gives so much to the kids in his club, in the community, and that's what he's about. He really is about representing his community, doing as much as he can, because even though he is synonymous with boxing, he does so much more for people outside of the boxing community locally. You know,
win 3 elite titles, a couple of years later then to go off and be a coach in the 96 Olympics. You don't get that, it's not given out free. You put the work in, and you know, even for myself as a coach, you kind of go, well, if I can achieve half of what he has done, I'd be very, very well fulfilled.
At 11 years of age, I won my first county and first Leinster title, and was beaten in the national championships. And came the summer, I said, not going back. But every year till I was 17, I kept coming back, and I won a national title when I was 17. And the learning that I've learned from the time I was 11 boxing till I was 17, it has stood me in life completely. What it taught me was never give up. And it's a thing I say to the boxers. No matter how far you go in your sport, whether it's a county or a national or Connacht or a league, or even training, if that's your goal, that's your level, that's brilliant. Never give up. I was very lucky then that 2 years later, I won the national intermediates, which is the seniors at the moment, but to come back to the intermediates, which is brilliant. And the same year, I won the seniors, which are the elites now. And it was absolutely fantastic. And you get a to be picked on the Irish team. And that time, the national champions were picked. 1977, when I won the national championships, we went to Deer Lake and we met Muhammad Ali. He was boxing Leon Spinks. And to speak to him, and we had a bit of a barney, and there's a photograph. There's the only photograph I have of boxing in my sitting room. It's on the wall. He said with Ali and all the Irish boxers. And then I met him again then in Atlanta in '96, when he had Parkinson's. When he was holding the torch for the Olympics in '96, you know, and getting to Atlanta was a dream come true, because in 1980, the Moscow Olympics, I wasn't even thinking about Olympics at that time. But other boxers that were winning Irish titles at the time were thinking about Olympics. I just wanted to be the Irish champion. I couldn't put in the time, and to be at that level, you had to be in with those big guns. I still say it, you got to be in Dublin or Belfast to beat those guys. You got to be training with them, and you got to be in fighting with them at the time. But it has changed since.
And like the club itself, you know, it's gone from strength to strength, and you know, that is testament to him. And it's gone from 2 nights a week to 3 nights now. There's 3 classes, 2 nights, possibly going to be 3 classes, 3 nights, 150 odd boxers.
I don't believe Monivea Boxing Club has been as strong as it has been right now, so it's only getting better. So what drives it? I suppose love of the sport, love of his community, and he does see all of the kids here and even the coaches as family.
He's an iconic figure around this place. Anyone that ever walks into this boxing club, if they only ever did 2 training sessions and they mention it to you that they were boxing Monivea, they'll say, oh, is Gus Farrell still there?
So I think he's just going to be remembered as a man who has given himself freely, who's cared for everybody that has been in his care and in his club. He's done so much for boxers, for coaches, at county level, at provincial level and national level. I think generosity is the one word I'd put there.
That it's more about the love of the sport and bringing people from right small age all the way up through it, that he gets as much out of that, and that's who he is, and he's never fazed by anything else, like that, oh, the club isn't doing well. It's always doing well if it has people coming through the door. That's him. People thought it wouldn't work. A few people asked, would he start something? And I think a lot of people thought, oh, you'll get a few lads, and sure, if they do a bit and get a bit fit. And I think people were very surprised, and then it was like, you can do this in a small community, and you can bring it out and bring lads places and girls, and they can do really well. It doesn't matter if it's a small place and you start from small beginnings in a shed and then move to the local hall. You can actually do stuff, and I think people have from what people say to me, they have a huge respect for that and for the work he does.
I've got so much out of it, I want to give something back, and I want to teach the kids how to do the sport as best I know and the way I think it should be taught. And that was my passion for the sport. And training all these kids all the way back since 1983, it's fantastic. Monivea Boxing Club, hopefully when I take a break from this, that'll keep coming and keep going on and keep going forever. As long as the premise is here and the commitment is there, and see all those people coming back, it's fantastic.